Hello viewers, welcome back. In today's video, we will learn what are the different special values available in the R source code or R programming. So there are few special values that are used here in R, that is NA. So in R, the NA values are used to represent the missing values. NA stands for not available. Like you may encounter NA values in text loaded into R to represent the missing values, or in data that is loaded from the database to represent the null values. To represent the null values or missing values, we use NA, that is not available in R. So as you can see here in the example that there is a vector having 1, 2, 3 values. When we give length of the vector as 4, which was 3 before, the last value, that is a missing value which is not there, as you are saying that the length is 4 but value is 3, it is saying that the last value is not available. Okay, NA. So this is NA, not available. So whenever you are reading the CSV file or any Excel file, and in a data of rows and columns, if some cell is having null values, R will make it NA values. R will make it NA. Okay, so with that you can use that value name in your code. Okay, and the next special value is infinity, INF, and minus infinity. So like sometimes we make some computation that results which is too big, right? So R will return INF for a positive number and minus INF for a negative number. So like if you are dividing any number with 0, it will give infinity, or any negative number with 0, it will give negative INF. So this is the values there in the R programming. Okay. The third one is spatial values in R, that is the third one is NaN, not a number, that you may have encountered in other programming language as well. So here not a number is like if there is something that cannot be, that is unrepresentable or undefined in computer, like you cannot represent that in any computer, or that cannot be computed. So that is actually a value, that is not a number. Meaning, like if you are dividing 0 by 0, it will give not a number. Okay, or infinity, if you are subtracting the infinity value by infinity, it again doesn't mean anything, it cannot be computed, right? You cannot represent it into computer, so that is NaN. Okay, and the fourth one and the last one, that is null. So here capital NULL is a symbol, or you can see a value in any objects of a R programming. So null is an object in R. Okay, so null is often used as an argument in function. Like if you have a vector of 1, 2, 3, and if you want to define it, if you want to make it null, or you don't want to have, or to make a length of the vector 0, you just have to assign the null object to that vector. It will become, the length of that vector will become 0. So additionally, you can assign as an argument to the function to mean that no value was assigned to the argument. Okay, so additionally some function may return null value as well. So null is not the same as the previous three values, that is NA, INF, that is infinity, minus infinity, or NaN. And you can check whether the particular object contains the null object or not. Is.null function is there. Is.null function is there. And in the same way, you can check the missing values in our object, that is NA, using is.NA function. Okay. Or infinite numbers can also be checked using is.infinite function. So now let's try to grasp the thing using examples. Okay. Let's go to the R Studio then. So here we are in the studio, and let's first we'll see NA values. So in NA values, it is representing the missing values. So let's have a vector of 3 values. So if I print it, it is giving v, and if I print the length of v, it will give 3. And if I represent the length of v as 4, like I'm saying that the length is now 4, so if I print the length of v, it will give me 4. But if I try to print the value of v, it is representing 1, 2, 3, NA. So the last value that has not been defined, it has been represented as NA, that is not available. Okay, the value has not been available. So this is v. And one more thing we can check, is .NA available in V or not, whether it will give, it is saying which is NA. So wherever the NA value is there, it will give true there, else it will return false. Okay. Then, like if I want to change, or if I want to make the length of this V vector 0, I can assign V as a null. See, and once I will print V, it will return null. What is the type of V? It will return null, because null is an object that has already been assigned to V. It has override the other values that is there in the vector V, and now it is null. Okay, so null is again is an object which you can assign to any other object, or you can also use like some function returns null values, that it is not returning anything else, like that we can use null. And we can also check whether null is present there or not. So it is true, v is null actually. Okay, and one more thing, if I'm defining v again, the null value, so let me see what it will give. 1, 2, 3, 4, that is the final object is null. And if I want to check whether the null is present there in the v, it will return me false. Why? It is returning me false. Let me do one more thing. If I will have another v1 that is of having null object only. Okay, I did mistake here. Okay, if I print v1, it will give me null. If I check is dot null v1, I think what it should return. What do you say? Because in the previous step we have one value as a null, and when we were checking is dot null v, it is returning false, and now all the values are null, and now I'm checking it whether this vector is having null value or not. So it is returning true. That means if the whole object is null, then the is dot null function will return null value or true value, else it will return false if one of the value is null but there is another object, because the values are there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, there are values, one value is not there, so it will not return null, so it is false, it is returning false. So try to understand the thing that is there with the null values. And now n is completed, null is completed. Now infinity, like if I divide 2 by 0, it will return me INF, that is infinity. And again with minus value, -4 divided by 0, it will return minus infinity. Correct? And when the not a number will come, when I will do it like this. This is not a number. Or if 0 is divided by 0, this is not a number. Like we cannot define it, we cannot, the computer cannot calculate it, even we cannot calculate it, or we cannot describe it, so that is not a number. Okay, so these are the 4 spatial values available in the R programming that you can use in different way in your future programming. Okay, so that's for this video. Here we are completing the basic introduction to the R programming, and from the next video we will be learning about the 5 atomic objects of R programming, or you can say the data type of R programming. Okay, see you till then. Come back with the new video soon. Thanks for watching.